We just finished this 1967 Chevrolet C10 on air. Let's get into the details. While it's hot here in Arizona, we got something pretty hot right here. A really sweet 1967 Chevrolet C10. A very, very, very cool truck. Of course, as beautiful as this truck is, it's even more beautiful to drive. And we're gonna show you what that's like. But what we've done is we've taken a Toyota exterior paint color, kind of an off-white to kind of go with it. They worked out super well. A little bit of a green gray, that Toyota color that they're so used to using. Really paired nicely with this and just gave it a really nice look. Of course, we got some really cool Avant Garde wheels, 22 by 12s in the back, 22 by 8.5s up front. Kind of a nice deep dish on those, and they kind of that matte, brush finish looked really nice to pair it off with this. So really cool truck. Driving it's really fun because you get all the power you want. We got the super nice Corvette LT4 supercharged. Beautiful engine, all tucked in here, nice and neat. All the hoses were routed and carefully thought about, and nice covering on them so you don't see anything that doesn't look like rubber hose. We want to have this nice kind of modern braided covering on here. Turned out super nice. Got the cold air intake. We got a beautiful radiator and kept all this nice and clean, and everything tucked right here with your overflow tank. And then also you got brushless fans. Of course, you got a Wilwood master cylinder, brake booster. Of course, you got the control box that runs the motor, and you've got all the fuses right in there. And of course, we got some really sweet aftermarket Porterbuilt hinges that we use that made this go up and down super easy. Inner fenders, which we purchased, to make it a little bit easier on us. We didn't actually fab those, and it made it a lot nicer to put together and produce it and get it done. Of course, we got a little panel cover right here. Worked out great. One thing about Air Ride is that you can go up and down, and it's super comfortable when you drive. One of the things that people love so much about Air Ride is that it is smooth. Like, it's super smooth. It rides super nice. Now, it can be a little finicky with Air Ride. If your air leaks, that sucks. So you gotta make sure you plumb everything correctly and chase down any leaks that you might have. We've got this sitting just a few inches off the ground, about 5.5 inches off the ground. This is generally a ride height that you might be driving it at. But of course, you can go lower if you want to drive it lower. And of course, it lays all the way out. We'll show you what that looks like. But I'm going to get in. I'm going to fire this thing up. We're going to go for a drive, and I want you to come along. Let's do it. It's like a new car. It's like a new Corvette. Shaped like a box. It's hot in Arizona. Air conditioning. Hey, do you want to look outside the window, make sure it's...
Yeah, should I do that again? I smacked my head on the windshield. There's what was the smudge. Never again. Right.
So here we are. Of course, we got a Spark steering wheel and all leather wrap. Super nice. Marker right here, so when you're going super fast and you're turning it, you know where center is. We've got the Dakota digital gauges. You've got RTX gauges. And the guys mounted the Bluetooth speaker right here. Just try to make it go away, but have it right there. It's hard to find places. Sometimes people put them down here or everywhere, and honestly, they're all hit and miss. They work a little bit better when you have a better quality stereo system. Of course, we got our air management right here. We got the E-level, all the buttons here. So level 1, 2, 3, you just hit the button and you're good to go. So if you just kind of hit that, then it calibrates and everything for you, and it's locked in. That's really nice. We designed this a long time ago, but if you don't really want to see it that much and have it sticking out, you can kind of hide it right there, or you pull it out, it's right there ready to go, and you can play around with it. Stereo right here, all your AC controls here, speakers here in the corners, and then you've got some subs in the back, and honestly, it's just a fun truck to drive. A lot of power because you got supercharged motor. We do so many supercharged motors these days that when you go back to naturally aspirated, it feels so different. You're like, oh, I mean, it's still plenty of power, but the reality is it's just like, now I'm spoiled. Now I want supercharged. So we've got 1,041 miles. We're completely done with this one. We actually had to get it registered in New Mexico. And so we had to ship it to his house with like less than 10 miles on this thing. And anytime you ship something to someone with less than 10 miles, you get worried, is everything gonna be okay? You just don't know. And it comes back with 500 miles on it. And you're like, well, I guess it was okay. Couple little things, obviously we knew we're going to be there as we go to finish wrapping it up. But we were able to get all that stuff taken care of, and we're all done with it. We've got the miles on it, and we're ready to send it back and let him drive it. With the air ride, it does make a different, it's just a different ride. Of course, we got 22s on it, and so it creates a little bit more of a lower profile tire, so you're going to get a little bit more of a harder ride in the tire side of it. Looks a little different, right? You're not going to get that big wheel look, but at the end of the day, you got to make some sacrifices here and there. Obviously, I would say he's not going to be driving this every day, but considering he put 500 miles on it after he first got it, I'm going to guess he's going to drive it more than we thought. So, which is great. We want him to, and we want him to have a good time, and we want to make sure everything's good to go, and we feel pretty comfortable that he's going to have a fun time in it. So with this, you've got your air management here, and this is basically, this does all the 2 rear bags, the 2 front bags, and this is left and right, rear, left and right, up front, and then of course up or down. And then if you hold the arrows right here are basically both bags up, both bags down. And you don't have to play with those a bunch. You can set it up for whatever ride height you want to cruise at. Keep in mind, if you're changing the ride height a lot, when you get the calibration done on your alignment on your tires and everything, so that's good. It's usually at 1 ride height, your most common ride height. But as you change, your caster's going to change, or camber's going to change, and all that geometry changes. So you might get a little bit different wear on your tires, just a little bit. Make sure you line your tires at the ride height you'll be driving at majority of the time to get optimal wear. Of course, for short cruises, it doesn't make that much of a difference. And then going over bumps, we have 3. You can just push it. You got a big dip, or maybe you have something you want to make sure you clear, like a speed bump or something. Easy just to push it and then go right back to where you are. Some guys like to set the number 1 up for cruising on the freeway where they're skating about 2 inches off the ground. That looks really cool, but since it's not my truck and I don't know exactly where they have that set at, I'm going to stick with number 2. Sometimes they'll put number 1 as kind of all out. That would suck to be driving this and hit number 1 and go all out, skating metal across the ground. Can't imagine what that would cost me right now. To be honest with you, the very first air ride truck we ever did, this is a little bit of a confession. We were driving to get the upholstery done, and one of my guys had ran an airline up and over the drive shaft. As he went down, the truck lowered, and then the airline started to rub on the drive shaft. Again, first one we ever, this is like 9 years ago. And I'm watching him as he goes lower, looks bad on the ground. I'm giving him the thumbs up. And well, eventually that drive shaft rubbed a hole in the airline. That truck goes, the rear end just sinks down. Next thing you know, we're sliding across the road. We got the rocker sliding across the road.
But it looks cool.
Oh, these sparks were flying. Everything. And I just could see just dollar signs adding up as this thing he's trying to bring it over to a stop. Yeah, we've come a long way since then.
Learning lessons.
Lessons learned. It's all good. We've recovered since then, and we're pretty excited about not making those mistakes anymore. All right, let's get on it a little bit right here.
Let's get the people some love.
Whew.
That thing fires up.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
When you got a supercharger, it just goes.
I just launched like the front end up.
Well, you get the airbags, and we got a really nice shock on it. But then you get the airbags, and so there's a little, you get a little bit
Sways
out of it.
a little bit.
Yeah. Of course, we got front and rear sway bars on this, so that helps with body roll. So you can drive it actually pretty hard and minimize a lot of that body roll. If you got airbags and you don't have a rear sway bar, that whole bed's just going to roll and roll, and the more rolling you get, the more chance you have of like rubbing your tires against the wheel tubs. So it kind of sucks. And it's hot today. It's got to be 105, and it feels very comfortable in here. We don't even have the windows tinted, and it feels really good. I mean, I did find one thing that's debatable right before I got in to drive it, but this might be the best truck that the guys have ever like completed without me coming back with a list. This thing's just like solid, rocket ship that's locked and loaded on the ground, and
Smooth and straight.
just smooth. I mean, it's really comfortable. What an exciting build, and what an exciting time for this guy. Find another shop that puts 1,000 miles on their builds and tests them as hard as we do. And you know, everybody puts 200, 300, 500 on it, but we take it further. We put 1,000 miles on it. If there's paint touch up, whatever, let's just make sure, you know, we'll get all that taken care of. But we don't want to ship anything out to anybody that, you know, that's gonna be problematic. And the only way you work through those problems is you drive them. Anyways, 1967, beautiful truck. I love this interior. This is the second time this interior, this is the first time we've done this interior, but people have loved it so much that we've actually sold it again. And so it's a beautiful kit. You can buy this kit. We'll ship it to you. All the interior that you see here can come right to you. You're gonna get your sun visors done. You'll get a nice dash pad. You'll get a really nice bench seat. It's very comfortable, and we can even sew you a steering wheel and have it leather wrapped, and then you're ready to go. A very cool truck. We're ready to send it back, and with that, we're out of here. We'll be shipping this out in the next couple days. We'll see you. Oh.
Put it park first.
Park it.